According to the National Electrical Code, specifically Article 110.26c, there is indeed a requirement concerning doorways for electrical rooms housing services where the calculated load exceeds 1000 amps. This section of the code addresses the need for adequate access and egress to electrical equipment, ensuring the safety of personnel who may need to work on or around the equipment. The National Electrical Code mandates that in situations where the calculated load surpasses 1000 amps, a doorway must be provided that meets certain minimum dimensional requirements. The doorway must not be less than 750 millimeters, which is approximately 29.5 inches in width, and 2000 millimeters, or approximately 78.7 inches, in height. These dimensions are specified to ensure that personnel can easily enter and exit the electrical room, even when carrying tools or equipment. The code's intent is to provide sufficient space for safe movement and operation within the electrical room, particularly during maintenance, troubleshooting, or emergency situations. The inclusion of these dimensional requirements emphasizes the importance of accessibility and safety in electrical installations. The code recognizes that electrical rooms with high amperage services can present potential hazards, and therefore, it is crucial to have adequate means of entry and exit. The specified doorway dimensions contribute to a safer working environment for electricians and other qualified personnel. In addition to the minimum doorway dimensions, it is essential to consider other factors that contribute to the overall safety and functionality of the electrical room. Firstly, the location of the doorway is crucial. It should be situated in a manner that allows for easy and unobstructed access to the electrical equipment. The path to the doorway should be clear of obstacles and well lit to prevent accidents. Secondly, the design of the doorway should facilitate quick and easy egress, especially in emergency situations. The use of panic hardware, which allows the door to be opened from the inside without the use of a key or specialized knowledge, is highly recommended. This ensures that personnel can quickly exit the room in the event of a fire, electrical fault, or other hazardous situation. Thirdly, adequate ventilation is essential to prevent the buildup of heat or hazardous gases within the electrical room. Electrical equipment generates heat during operation, and if the room is not properly ventilated, the temperature can rise to unsafe levels. Proper ventilation helps to dissipate heat and maintain a safe working environment. Fourthly, adequate lighting is necessary to ensure that personnel can see clearly and safely perform their tasks within the electrical room. Insufficient lighting can increase the risk of accidents and errors. The lighting should be bright enough to illuminate all areas of the room, including the electrical equipment and the pathways to and from the equipment. The National Electrical Code provides specific guidelines for lighting levels in electrical rooms. It is important to consult these guidelines to ensure that the lighting meets the required standards. Fifthly, the electrical room should be kept clean and free of clutter. Obstacles and debris can impede access to the equipment and increase the risk of accidents. A clean and organized room promotes safety and efficiency. Sixthly, all electrical equipment within the room should be properly labeled and identified. This allows personnel to quickly and easily locate the equipment they need to work on. Proper labeling also helps to prevent errors and accidents. Seventhly, the electrical room should be secured to prevent unauthorized access. This helps to protect the equipment from vandalism and tampering. It also helps to ensure that only qualified personnel have access to the room. Eighthly, regular inspections and maintenance should be performed on the electrical equipment to ensure that it is in good working order. This helps to prevent breakdowns and accidents. Maintenance should be performed by qualified personnel who are familiar with the equipment and the relevant safety procedures. Ninthly, personnel working in the electrical room should be properly trained in electrical safety procedures. This includes training on how to identify and avoid electrical hazards, how to use personal protective equipment, and how to respond to electrical emergencies. Training should be provided on a regular basis to ensure that personnel are up to date on the latest safety practices. Tenthly, it is important to consult with a qualified electrical engineer or contractor to ensure that the electrical installation meets all applicable codes and standards. A qualified professional can help to identify potential hazards and recommend appropriate safety measures. They can also help to ensure that the installation is properly designed and installed. In summary, the National Electrical Code requires a doorway of at least 29.5 inches wide and 78.7 inches high for electrical rooms with services exceeding 1000 amps. This requirement is intended to ensure adequate access and egress for personnel working on or around the equipment. In addition to the minimum doorway dimensions, it is important to consider other factors that contribute to the overall safety and functionality of the electrical room, such as the location of the doorway, the design of the doorway, adequate ventilation, adequate lighting, cleanliness, proper labeling, security, regular inspections and maintenance, and proper training. By following these guidelines, it is possible to create a safe and efficient electrical room that meets all applicable codes and standards. The specific type of door, whether it's a single door or double doors, is not explicitly mandated by Article 110.26c of the NEC. The primary focus is on the clear and unobstructed access. However, local codes or project specifications might have additional requirements. For example, if the equipment layout within the room makes it difficult to maneuver around with a single door, then double doors might be necessary to meet the intent of the code for easy and safe access. Furthermore, consider the potential need to move large pieces of equipment in and out of the room. A single door, even if it meets the minimum width requirement, might not be sufficient for this purpose. In such cases, double doors would be a more practical solution. Also, it is important to note that the Americans with Disabilities Act, (EDA), may also have requirements related to accessibility. These requirements may affect the type of door and hardware that is used. It is crucial to consult with a qualified professional to ensure that the electrical room meets all applicable codes and standards, including the NEC local codes and the EDA. They can assess the specific needs of the project and recommend the best solution for providing safe and accessible access to the electrical equipment. In addition to the above considerations, it is also important to think about the long-term needs of the electrical room. As the school grows and changes, the electrical load may increase. This could necessitate the installation of additional equipment in the electrical room. Therefore, it is important to design the room with future expansion in mind. This may include providing extra space for equipment, as well as ensuring that the room has adequate ventilation and lighting. It is also important to consider the security of the electrical room. The room should be locked to prevent unauthorized access. This will help to protect the equipment from vandalism and theft. The door should also be equipped with a panic bar so that people can easily exit the room in an emergency. Finally, it is important to have a written emergency plan for the electrical room. This plan should outline the steps that should be taken in the event of a fire, electrical shock, or other emergency. The plan should be posted in a conspicuous location in the electrical room. All personnel who work in or around the electrical room should be familiar with the emergency plan. By taking these precautions, you can help to ensure the safety of personnel and the reliability of the electrical system. Remember that the ultimate goal is to provide a safe and efficient working environment for those who need to access and maintain the electrical equipment. While the NEC provides a baseline for safety, it is up to the design professional to consider all relevant factors and ensure that the electrical room is designed and constructed in a manner that meets the specific needs of the project. Do not hesitate to consult with experienced electrical engineers, contractors, and inspectors to ensure that all aspects of the installation are compliant with applicable codes and standards. Their expertise can help to identify potential problems and ensure that the electrical room is safe, reliable, and accessible. Always prioritize safety and compliance when working with electrical systems. Electrical hazards can be deadly, and it is essential to take all necessary precautions to protect yourself and others. By following the guidelines outlined in the NEC and other applicable codes and standards, you can help to prevent accidents and ensure the safe operation of the electrical system. The information provided here is for general guidance only and should not be considered a substitute for professional advice. Always consult with a qualified professional before undertaking any electrical work. It is crucial to understand the intent behind the code requirements and to apply them in a manner that is appropriate for the specific situation. While the NEC provides specific rules and guidelines, it is important to remember that the ultimate goal is to ensure the safety of personnel and property. By focusing on this goal, you can help to create a safe and reliable electrical system that will serve the needs of the community for years to come. Remember to consult with local authorities and building inspectors to ensure that the electrical installation meets all applicable requirements. They can provide valuable guidance and help to ensure that the project is completed safely and in compliance with all relevant codes and standards.